Hi, Dr. Blyler. This is Renee Dybert from Blairsville, Georgia. And I have so many neat tools available to me, I thought I would try to use this one. See if maybe I could make my point or communicate better this way, and you could hear my logic behind what I'm doing. Um, so, thank you for your time. I ran um, the 2A ANOVA according to the handouts, the latest handouts that you sent me. And they aligned, of course, with the field textbook that I have also. My problem up to this point, I realize now, has been that I've been using many resources. I have them all laid out on this huge desk. And sometimes some of them did things certain ways and some of them did them other ways. But in just strictly using this handout and nothing else, um, I ended up with the chart that you see in front of you. Now, this information goes with my research question 1 and research question 2. And how I decided to report out on this is by excluding 2 outliers. And there were a total of 66 students who completed the survey, so 66 participants. And when I exclude the 2, of course, that leaves me with 64. And all that having been said, let me turn my phone off so it'll stop clucking at me. That's a good thing. And I just want to show you where my mind is, and you can either confirm that I'm now headed in the right direction, or you can tell me the opposite. Before I move on, I will just say this, that what I believe I'm looking at here are non-significant effects, non-significant main effects, and interaction. That's what I think I'm looking at here. So I'm going to move on to the actual research questions, and you can look at the numbers and see if I'm doing it right, which I think I am. So here we go. So when we look at research question 1, and let me go ahead and say something else too. I realize now that I wish that I had ordered my research questions differently. I wish that I had first talked about the interaction, and then secondly spoken about main effects. I do understand also why it should have happened that way, but it was approved this way, so I'm assuming that I have to move forward in this same order. So in that vein, excluding the 2 outliers, which I am talking about when I'm talking about normal distribution prior to getting to this point. So let's just assume that I'm going to explain that earlier. A 2A ANOVA, I'm looking at main effects. For mode is mode of course, asynchronous versus blended, and this DEM6, which you wouldn't know, but I know, is prior online learning. That's what that means. And that was like the 6th demographic question on there, so that's what that means. So what I'm looking at is I'm looking at a non-significant main effect between students registered in an asynchronous course and students registered for the blending course for student perceptions of instructor support. And I'm looking at the error rate, I'm looking at the information down here, and I believe I've got that all correct. And I'm also saying that there was a non-significant main effect. And by the way, this is different terminology than I've seen in other places, but this is what field uses. So non-significant main effect between students who had no prior, we're talking about DM6 right here, no prior online experience, and students who have some online experience. And I believe my numbers are looking good here. So that takes care of my research question 1. So if you would please let me know if I'm on the right track with that. I adjusted the page so that we could see the chart again with research question number 2, which deals with the interaction effect. And so in looking at the interaction area for this chart, I rounded this up to say 1.88 with the p-value at 0.176. And I'm saying that it's non-significant and giving these at what levels. So, am I close? I'm I need to make something happen, and so this is again my effort to help you understand my logic and what I'm thinking. Um, I sent you my data files, and when you get it, you'll see where I have excluded those two outliers for this particular, um, so that I could run this particular statistic. So if there's any way that you could like maybe watch it again and comment to me what your thoughts are about my logic, I would be grateful. And if I'm on track, then I'll go ahead and move on to research question 3 and 4 just to double check those statistics to see if I did that correctly or if I screwed that up really good too. But I'm going to double check them all is what I'm going to do. And after I do all of that, then I'm going to go back and readjust my chapter 4. I think my chapter 5 is still not going to be far off because everything's still not significant. Um, but I will need to address my chapter 4 again, look over it, change the numbers so that they are correct, and maybe change some of my logic and ship that back to you. But you currently have my chapter 5, I believe, and you may have even returned that to me in the classroom interface. I haven't been there yet today. So thank you very much for your time, and don't make too much fun of my southern accent, and I'll look forward to your response. Thank you again.